All right. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was we had a look at what boat, we wanted to know what boat we will be on for the trip. So the boat that we are using this year's Sunsail Climb will be on a 2019 Hansa 508. Okay, this this model has 4 double cabins for the guests and the crew, and it has a bunk cabin for gear and storage. Last year's trip was run on a 2015 Hansa 505, which was very successful. We loved the boat, so we're sticking with the same setup, just with a new model with some brilliant updated features like split tables in the cockpit. And I'm going to share my screen with you now for these images, because this here is the open cockpit. So what they've done is they've opened up these tables. These are now split tables. And so you can walk straight through here. And as you can see, it's a brilliant wide open cockpit. So that's one thing they've changed about this boat for this year. But it really is a beautiful boat, beautiful boat. So I've got another few photos of that here. There it is, sailing, just being generally lovely. From the top there. So a lot of deck space on this boat. And what we love is those tables, as you can see here, they drop down to make this big double lounger area. So both sides can do this. You can have one up, one down, whatever you choose, but it makes this lounging area really, really nice. What you can see there is there's no shade cover in this photo. But we would have a bimini up all the time because it gets really hot. So we would have shade in this all the time. But that's pretty much the boat there. Nice big swim platform. This swim platform is newer and with this really nice boarding ladder. This is the first time we've had this on yachts. So I'm really excited about this and the sweet stairs to come up. So really nice boat. Really, really nice. And the 505 sailed absolutely brilliantly last season. Hey Kelly, I see you there. All right, so I'm just going to unmute everyone for a moment to see if there's any questions in there. All right, so I've got you all in there. Has anyone got any questions about the boat at the moment?
Having conversations elsewhere.
This unmuting thing. What was that?
So it has like 3 cabins or 4 cabins?
This one has 5 cabins. So I've got where's that picture gone?
As I did a little search and was like kind of, you mean the front cabin as well?
No, sorry. Well, I thought I had a floor plan in this picture. Hang on, I'll just grab it. I've got it in another window here. So this one's got 5 internal cabins and 1 skipper's cabin right in the bow. So right up here, there is a skipper's cabin, but we mainly use that for storage. So then you've got 2 double cabins in the bow with 2 heads, and then 2 double cabins in the stern, and a bunk cabin on the port side.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just find that.
So basically 10 guests then, or is it?
Yeah, it can take, it's actually in charter for 12. It can definitely take 10. We only take 8.
Okay.
Including us, yeah.
Use all the double bunk.
Yeah, the double bunks is not something we put adults into. Yeah, it's too small, especially in the summer with the heat. It's it's just not something we want to put people into. Yeah, and it's really good for storing gear, especially with the climbing trip. We've got that much more equipment. It's just nice to have that space.
It's nice to also sleep in the double beds, right?
What's that?
It's also nice to sleep in the double beds.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, much nicer. Like I've done a couple of reviews of the yachts, and there are I do fit in the bunks, but not very nicely. So can you see the floor plan I've got up on the screen now? Yeah. So A2 up here, this is the skipper's cabin. Now, we don't put skippers in these cabins. They're too small. We often just store fenders in here because we pull our fenders off when we leave the port. make it all nice and tidy and nice and safe. So all the fenders and extra luggage bags that we're not using, things like that, go into that cabin there. So we don't use it as a sleeping quarters. Then you've got your 2 doubles here, which are really nice for a couple, or even this boat is that much bigger than the 45 foot. So we would put 2, we've had 2 singles in here. They can sleep, together without being cramped. It's not an issue. And each of those have their own bathroom as well. This is the galley down here, and this is the double bunks I was talking about, which we'll use for gear storage in here. Then 2 double bunks down the back. Sorry, double cabins down the back for sleeping in there. So 3 bathrooms on board the boat that we'll use, and they've all got a shower over toilet situation, which is really nice. And on the back of the boat, most of the time when we're out on the boat, people shower just off the back here, using the cockpit shower out of here and just showering fresh water off the back of the boat.
Okay, so it's basically 6 guests and then you, right?
2 crew, yeah. So 6 guests and myself and Mahina. So Mahina will prepare all of the meals, all the breakfast and lunch aboard the boat. And that is all included in the price and paid for. She takes care of all of that. And then dinners are ashore after that.
Okay.
Cool. So any other questions about the boat there?
Is it a good sailor?
Oh, yeah. It's a good sailor. Is it a good sailor, Blair?
I'm just saying it's beautiful.
It was probably the most fun boat because of the crew and the conditions we had. It was the most fun boat all of last year. We had it for 2 weeks, the 2015 model, and we put it through its paces. We were out there in 20 to 30 knots of wind, and we got about that night coming into Vidoskud, Blair. How fast were we going? 11 knots?
Around about, yeah.
Yeah, about 11 knots. So it, the thing was just humming, absolutely humming. Any other questions about the boat, Jacob, Meredith?
Nope. None from us.
Do you have like a spinnaker or a gennaker or something?
We don't. Your standard charter boats don't come with them. We can get them for the boats. We have raced these boats. They're very big. They're very nice, but they cost extra. You've got to pay about 350 euros for the hire the Gennaker, plus the bond you put on it. So we don't do it as standard. Some of our advanced sailing teaching trips, we will take them on, but with the climbing trip, because we're focusing on the climbing and exploring the islands, we just leave it out for this one.
Okay.
So other question that everyone asked is, where will we be taking you? So the Sunsail Climb focuses on 3 main islands. We leave from Karstella, Marina Karstella in Split. Just going to stop this share and share a map with you. Okay, Marina Karstella and Split is up here. This is Split here. And so we start out of here. Now the 3 main islands we focus on are Sholta and Kvar and down here. So is that noise coming from your end, Meredith?
Yeah, you should mute us.
All right, I'll just mute you there.
Where are you, Jacob? Are you in like a concert?
We're on the streets of Barcelona right now, and this is just a buskers out and about.
So the 3 main islands is Sholta, this one up here, and Kvar here, and Vis. So the first stop last season was Marselinta. This is a really nice place for us to go on the first night because it's quite close to Karstella. And we can get there in good time, and it gives us really good access to down here. There is some really cool, and in this bay particularly here, some really cool deep water solo climbing, really, really nice rock, good to jump off. A little bit sharp on the bottom, so you got to be careful when we first get on. Hey, Blair. Really, really, really nice spot. Then we often come down And this, one thing we'll say is we don't have a set itinerary on the trip simply because we want to roll the punches regarding weather. Okay, we want to be generally on the leeward side of islands to be anchored or to climb so that we've got nice, settled, calm weather and so that we have safe conditions as well. And you enjoy it much more without that crazy weather. So when we have, when we've got the wind coming this way, of course, it's best to be over here. It's Feternigella, and if the wind is coming in on this direction, then this is very exposed, and it's better to be down at Podstein or something like that. So we don't have a set itinerary. We just sort of roll with the punches with that. So Maslenica up here, and then this climbing around here, really good. Down to Verdobolska, one of our favorite spots, which is just brilliant food, brilliant vibe, and a really nice calm harbor. Down here, this is a spot called Pokrevnik, which is really, really cool. It was the first time I visited on the trip last year, and this just has the walls running up each side of the bay, and they've got bolted sport climbing in there. Sveta Nedjela is where Cliff Base is. This is another spot in here that we like to climb. Oh, sorry, not there. There. And then we go to Vis as well. One of the cool spots to visit is Steneva Bay, which is down here on the bottom side of Vis. Now, this is another very deep bay. There's nothing bolted here, but this is where we do a lot of deep water solaring, things like that. So just about every night, we will spend in a port or port or a town on the river so that everyone can get off and go and do their own thing. There are a couple of nights we reserve for staying on anchor right outside Cliff Base here because it is such a cool spot, and the climbing there is epic, and just waking up in front of those cliffs is something amazing. So if we can manage it, if the weather lets us, then we'll stay there. This last trip we did, we spent one night there at least, and then went back to Cliff Base twice. So that is the basic thing. We've also got Komeja on our list of places to go. We play this based on the weather and the timing of the trip. We've got all of these spots up our sleeve so that we can climb wherever we need to. Any questions on that stuff? There's the street music coming back in. All right, I'm muting you back up again. Okay, cool. And the last question we have prepared is what sort of climbing will be on offer? Okay, so effectively the climbing is, we'll be visiting crags where we can climb bolted sport climbing routes and deep water solo. Okay, the levels range from complete beginner to effectively professional, like very advanced. But most of the climbs are in and around grades, and the French rating 5 to 6. So that's sort of like a intermediate to experienced climber. But everywhere we went, we were able to find something in the 5A or 4C that was a little bit easier for people that were not experienced.
There's also the scope for some of the climbs that we didn't explore fully. There is some multi-pitches out there as well. So yeah, you can do some multi-pitch climbing if you are in that frame of mind. Yeah,
definitely. All right. So as far as equipment, basically, this is a climbing focused sailing holiday. So we don't supply rock climbing equipment because that gets us into another whole world of paperwork and things like that. And what we're doing is we're taking you to locations where you can enjoy climbing. So you're bringing your own equipment. That equipment will be, basically you will need a harness, quick draws, and chalk bag and climbing shoes, belay device, and a rope. That is effectively it. Most people that come aboard the trip are coming in a pair or in a group, and so they work between them. Hey, if we've got 3 ropes between us, then that's everyone climbing all at once. So I will have my own equipment on board, and I'm quite happy to climb with someone and share that equipment as well. But definitely everyone needs to bring their own harness, their own chalk bag and climbing shoes, of course. And I would highly suggest if you've got an old pair of climbing shoes, bring those for your deep water solo shoes, because it's not nice to have a nice pair for doing the sport climbing. You know, keep them dry, keep them good. But when we're doing the deep water solo, it's good to have some shoes for that sort of stuff. Any questions on that climbing? All good, Christian? Excellent.
That's cool.
All right.
Yeah, that's a lot of spots there. Right? A lot of cuffs.
Yeah. We're very spoiled. And I mean, we're focusing here on 3 islands. I can show you here already. There is 1, 2, 3. We've climbed here actually at Lossies. There's climbs down at Sumartin. 1, 2, 3. There's climbs up here. You know, they're everywhere. Are absolutely everywhere. So we've picked out the really like cool, accessible by the water, you know, the whole experience sort of thing, because we'll be climbing, but it's nice to be paddle boarding and swimming and then just enjoying the landscape. So yeah, hanging out in the towns and things like that. Like it's definitely a focused, hey Meredith, you go on walking. Have you still got street music? Can I unmute you? I can unmute you. All right, welcome back.
Yeah, we're getting.
So yeah, there is just places all over the show, which is really great. Now I was going to show you all.
So how is the day usually? Is it like we wake up early to go to the next spot and then spend the day climbing and then go to the marina in the afternoon?
Really good idea. Really good question. So generally we work like this. In the mornings, Mahin and I will get up somewhere around the vicinity on the Sunshine Coast. We'll get up in the vicinity of 5 or 6 a.m. June is a really nice time to run the strip, especially beginning of June, because it's not getting too hot. And yet, if it's a still hot day, then the best climbing time is going to be up until about 9 a.m., 10 a.m., and then from about 4 p.m. onwards, or 5, 6 p.m. into the darker hours is really the best time to climb if it's a really hot day. And of course, in between that, we've got deep water solo and traveling and sailing and the swimming to be done, paddle.
What's a deep water solo?
So deep water solo is like this. Okay, so this is climbing without rope, straight out of the water, or along an edge that you don't have to necessarily start in the water, along an edge which is safe to fall into the water. Okay, now that's a bit of a strange concept to say. Safe to fall into the water is deep water solo can be very dangerous. If you are falling and you fall the wrong way from a great height, you are going to hurt yourself. So with our deep water solo, myself, I keep mine under, within the 10 meters, no higher than 10 meters. You're feeling pretty high when you're climbing 10 meters off the water. So we usually pick spots like this one here, where we're just exploring this piece of rock. And we've got like a boulder problem. This one, I'll see if I can get a photo. Oh, I don't have it. This one started in down where my mouse is, and we worked our way up and up here, and then got up to this point. We just spent, it was heat of the day, so we found some shade. We got the water, and we just each had a go, encouraging each other to try this move, and we just worked on it for an hour, which was fun. So there's a lot of spots like this that you can do that with. And so this is the very easy end of deep water solo. This was not a marked deep water solo spot. This was just a spot we found at Pokrevnik that looked cool. We went over in the dinghy and we checked it out. So that's deep water solo, which is a lot of fun. There are some very cool spots, especially at Cliff Base. What's this one? Oh, this is at Steneva Bay. This is Cliff Base here. So this is a really cool little deep water solo area all around this water here. This is nice and deep, 3-4 meters deep underneath, and you can climb all of this and get in and around. It's a lot of fun. So that is a really cool spot when the heat comes in to start swimming and climbing with that second set of shoes if you've got them. With the sport climbing, this was a cool spot. This was the last spot we visited at Podstein on Hvar. So this one, we found a lot of easier grades. Like this one I'm climbing at the moment. was about, Blair, do you remember this one as being about a 5A?
Yeah, I think it was a 5A or a 5A plus from memory.
Yeah. But effectively, we had a good session climbing here until the rain came in. It was our last day. But the sport climbing was really, really good. The hangers and the bolts were in really good condition as well.
Yeah, that's one good thing about the sport climbing in the area. I mean, everything's really well maintained. All the bolts look near enough as if they've been placed the day before. I don't know how there isn't any kind of signs of erosion or deterioration. But yeah, everything's in good condition. I would trust any of it, especially in the cliff base area. The guy that runs cliff base, he's absolutely spot on when it comes to his equipment.
And the Via Ferrata, we finished. Thank you, Mahina. Yeah, so the Via Ferrata, basically this is an area around where cliff base is, and there's a lot of hills surrounding it, which are really, really quite amazing. And up there, I don't have a shot of it, sorry. Up there, he has built a Via Ferrata course, high ropes and all clipped out course. So this is not something that is included. It's an extra activity. If you want to choose to do this, he runs a trip up there. He supplies the helmets. If you've got your own harness, then that's cool. But you go up, clip through this route and walk through, go across the high ropes and the bridges. It is very, very cool. And the views are just insane. So that's another thing we can do when we're there if we've got a group that's interested in doing it. From memory, I think he said it was about €80 a person, and he runs the trip for us, and we just go with him. So that was another thing we could do. This was another cool spot where we went paddleboarding. It gets quite busy once the tourists come in, but then we move off to the next spot, which in this case was Steneva Bay, where we parked our yacht out here. And we did there's a little cave up here you can climb into. This is some quite cool deep water solo area as well. We worked on that area we had breakfast there, didn't we, Blair?
Yeah, that was a breakfast spot.
Really cool. Oh, that was the climbing there. Yeah, so we just had a little overhang to play with and a few different spots to climb on.
Nick, go and pull up third row down, the one on the far left.
Oh, the red caves.
Yeah,
that was fun. This is a spot just around from cliff base where we do quite a lot of climbing. This is Tia here. She was climbing up under this one, and also on this cliff to the right that's not in view at the moment. But we took the boat right in here, and you can take the paddleboard all the way into these caves, about 40 meters, 30 meters, and in each of these slices you can explore, which was a beautiful spot. And then the climbing that you can do up around the sides was great. New course, you don't have to climb. This was just a place also for people to just swim and paddleboard and enjoy it. It was really, really cool. Sorry, Blair, kind of took you over. What were we going to say about that one?
No, I actually thought it was a picture of cliff base when I first saw it. I'm just trying to give these guys an idea of the scale of cliff base.
Tell you what, I'll stop this share. I've got the one on the book right here. I have to show the video at another point. But this is the aerial shot of cliff base. Oh, there we go. There we go. So that whole area, and you can see it's got A, B, C, D. Those are the climbing areas.
Yeah. So ABC and a portion of D are all bolted for sport. Once you get past kind of the white rock formation, that's when you get into kind of deep water solo territory. I think from memory there's about 100 plus sport routes on cliff base. Some epic ones in a kind of, it's more of a tunnel than a cave, but that's where my big project for the trip was. It was 6A plus. You're talking best part of 20-ish meters of hard overhang. And yeah, I'll be going back at some point to finish it because I couldn't get it. I was about 10 meters short. Just absolutely pumped after a solid amount of trying.
Yeah. This was, so it's in behind here, isn't it, Blair?
Yeah.
Yeah. This was
no, into the right. So yeah, in there.
sounds so. Jacob, any more questions, Christian?
No, looks very cool.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Basically, staying here, climbing here, swimming here, eating here, all of that stuff. Yeah, I'm muting the boost at Borders. Where are they? I think he's muted himself. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's due to be a lot of fun.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks for showing.
No worries. No worries. Okay. Well, if anyone else has got anything to ask, absolutely go for it. Otherwise, I look forward to having you all on the trip.
Yeah. I probably have more questions and also look over. So, like, what was the price and what was the what else do I need to know?
Okay, so the price is 1,590 euros, so 1,590 euros per person. So that price is basically it's what we're calling all inclusive. So you don't have to pay us any more money once you arrive. That's it. That will cover all of the boat fees, all of the fuel, the food for the breakfast and lunches we talked about, all taken care of, port fees, anything you can think of that the trip related costs, we all cover within that. Only thing you need to cover is your drinks and your, if you bring alcoholic drinks and things on board, we supply water and sparkling water and dinners ashore. So we generally are always parking at a port in the evening and people get the chance to go out then and explore on their own and then have dinner ashore. We recommend places, but you're not tied to anything there.
Okay. So about like 2,000 with like flights and everything. I cannot think then.
I mean, the flights, that doesn't include flights. So this is once you're in Split, you get on the boat. This covers all of the obviously accommodation.
Yeah, about for me how much it would cost. Total.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. How's the food, Blair? Is it all right?
I would never rate calamari as highly as I would rate calamari or seafood in Croatia. It is, the food is amazing. Even actually steak, to be honest, probably some of the best steak I've had as well.
The seafood there, and also they're like Italian influences to have in the food. Awesome.
Yeah, and lots of truffles. So at the moment, I've booked the first boat, the 2019 Hansa 508, and I have reserved the second boat, which is identical. It's also a 2019 Hansa 508.
Okay.
So I've reserved that. Now I hold that reservation until the 29th. So the price that I can offer, the 1,590 price, was a special price we made up for Meredith and her group and all of you, and I can honor that price until the 29th for the second boat. If we don't book by that date, we don't get it.
Okay, good to know.
Cool.
So
yes.
All right, thanks everyone for joining us on that Zoom meeting. I hope there's a lot of information in there for you. And just remember, we can hold the 1,590 euro price until the 29th of December. So get in touch with us either via email or Facebook Messenger, however you want to do it, and grab a spot if you want it. We currently have 7 spots open. So get in there quick. And if you have any other questions, just please comment on one of our threads, send us a message, however you want to do it, or we can arrange a call with you. Thanks a lot, and I hope to see you on the boats for Sunsail Climb 2019.